This is the RYWB116 Lite breakout board that can be used to establish all sort of wireless communication. The heart of this breakout board is the RYWB116 module, which is based on Redpine Signal's RS9116 technology and features a multi-protocol wireless stack including support for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The breakout board simplifies to harness the RYWB116 capabilities due to these ready-to-use connection pins for serial communication. The board can be used with almost any microcontroller that supports serial communication, including Arduinos or ESP-based microcontrollers. This beginner guide gives a brief introduction into the breakout board and how to work with it. In addition, it shows how to set up a Wi-Fi access point by sending commands via a serial communication. Plus, a TCP server is created that, for example, could be extended to an HTTP web server. Everything is done from a normal notebook, so no microcontroller is involved today. Let's have a closer look at the breakout board. The board has an operating voltage of 3.3 volt. Keep this in mind if you plan to connect it with, for example, a microcontroller's 5 volt voltage supply. If a 5 volt signal is connected directly to the breakout board, the board might get damaged. On the back we have the pin descriptions. Ground is a conventional ground pin for the voltage supply. Then wake up. The wake up signal has two functionalities, one during the bootloading process and one after the bootloading. During the bootloading, the signal is an active high input to indicate that the bootloader should bypass any inputs from the host processor and continue to load the default firmware from flash. After bootloading, the signal is an active high input to indicate that the module should wake up from its ultra low power sleep mode. In this video, we won't make use of the wake up pin. Then we have the transmit pin, which serves as serial output. Next is the receive pin, which serves as serial input. Reset pin is used for the reset signal. Also this pin is not used in today's video. The last pin is the voltage, which must be connected to a source, which delivers between 2.1 and 3.6 volt. That's everything we need to know about the RYWB116 Lite breakout board. Let's have a look at the RYB116 module. This module supports multiple Wi-Fi and Bluetooth standards. We have Wi-Fi 802.11b, G and N and Bluetooth 5 2.1 Plus, EDR and LE. The module can run in many different modes, for example as Wi-Fi client or in a combined mode with both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth active. Next, we make use of the Wi-Fi access point mode to create a Wi-Fi access point with a TCP server. In order to connect the notebook to the breakout board, we need a specific piece of hardware, a USB to TTL device. By the way, these devices come with many names, for example, also USB to serial is very common. Nonetheless, their main application is to be plugged into a USB port. Then they are represented as a serial communication device in the operating system and can be used to send or receive commands via these pins. My device can be used in 3.3 or 5 volt mode by setting this jumper. Here I use it in 3.3 volt mode. The connection to the RYWB116 Lite board is fairly simple. I recommend to use a breadboard for the breakout board. Then connect 3.3 volt of the device to the voltage battery pin. Ground to ground, the device's transmit pin to the module's receive pin, and the other way around, the device's receive pin to the module's transmit pin, and that's it. If we connect the USB to TTL device to the notebook, we are fully set from the hardware point of view. Besides the hardware setup, we require some software preparations. So a wireless access point can be configured by sending commands to the RYWB116 module. In order to send the commands, we require a so-called terminal program software. There are tons of terminal programs available. In my opinion, there's no clear winner when it comes to the best terminal program. However, there are many programs that are of very good quality. In this video we utilized HTerm, which is fully free to use and sufficient for our use case. If you want to try out HTerm for yourself, take some time to check out all the features. You are more efficient if you are aware of all the capabilities. For example, you have different options to display the data that you receive from serial devices. Moreover, you can transmit data in different formats, such as ASCII, hex or decimal. Another handy feature is that you can import command sequences from XML files. On the written article on my website, you find the predefined command sequences used in this guide. Just copy the content into a file with the file extension HTS. When you import the file, the predefined commands are available in HTerm. And now you are set from the software point of view. Before we start, maybe some info. This is not a detailed guide and therefore does not explain every bit that is exchanged with the module. The idea is to give you an overview on how to proceed when working with such a module. If you want to dig deeper into the topic, have a look at the documentation of the module. But let's start. First, I connect to the device with these parameters. In my case, the device is on this COM port. I will display the responses in ASCII format, as the content is then much easier to read. As an initial step, an auto baud rate detection procedure takes place. We start this procedure by sending the hex value 1C to the module. The module responds with the hex value 55. Here in the hex view it's easier to see. Then we send also the hex value 55 to the module, which completes the procedure. Next, the module boots up and shows a welcome message. We select option 1 to load the default wireless firmware by sending the ASCII value 1. Now we can start to configure the access point that we want to open up with the RYWB11.6 module. First we configure the operation mode to access point mode. Here the first parameter value 6 represents the access point mode. As you can see, the module responded with an OK. Next we set a band to 2.4 GHz, which is indicated by the parameter value 0. The module responded with an OK, and now we initialize the module with the init command. Again, the module responded with an OK, plus the MAC address, which looks a bit weird in the ASCII view, but it's okay. Now the module is initialized. The next step is to configure the IP address of the access point. Here I use 192.168.51. The module responded with the MAC address, IP address, net mask and gateway IP. Next, the access point's name, password and so on is configured. In this guide we open an access point with the name rex and a password 12 and so on. Now the access point can be started with the join command. If the start was successful, the access point should show up in the list of accessible Wi-Fi networks. And here it is. As a final step, we start a TCP server on port 5001, where up to 5 clients are able to connect to by sending this command. And that's it. Okay, let's try it out. I'm connecting my notebook to the access point rex. Now if I use a web browser and go to the corresponding IP with port 5001, the data of an HTTP request appears in HTerm. From here, we would be able to implement a fully functional web server by adding more logic like sending a response to this HTTP request. But for today, we will leave it as it is. Okay, so I hope you got a basic understanding on how to start working with such breakout boards like the RYWB11.6 Lite. Once you have the first application running, it's easy to build up on this to implement more complex applications. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.